There's multiple ways to dry organics and preserve them so that you can use them in resin. One way is by pressing them. You can press these in a press, or you can use a book or a catalog to make them nice and flat. You can place them in some silicone gel, which will allow them to stay three-dimensional and will preserve the color. Or you can let them air dry and they'll make nice little pods like that. So let's go over the 3 different ways in which you can preserve organics. The first way to preserve organics is by pressing them in a book. And why that is nice is you can use them on a flat tag because they're very, very flat. You can use them to stack up and embed within a piece to create depth. You can also put down a layer of colorized resin on the base of that and then put your organic over that once the colorized resin has cured. To go ahead and preserve organics for using with resin using a book, what you'll want to do is take your nice fresh picked organics that you might have gotten out of your garden, and you'll want to have either a thick book or you can have a catalog. I would highly recommend that you have your book. It's a library book, I'm just showing it as an example. You place your organics inside of your paper. So if you wanted it to be flat like this, you would need to remove the stem. If you wanted it to be pressed like this, you'll keep the stem on. And let's say we have our flower and we have our leaf. We'll place those inside of a piece of paper that I folded over, and then we will insert it inside of our book and press it flat. And then you can stack up other books on top of that, and then you can let that dry. It takes various times for different organics, so you'll just have to check back and make sure that it is dry to the level that you want it to. The next way to dry organics and preserve them for resin is by using a silicone gel. So in this, I liked the dimensions of this piece and many of the pieces that I'm using in my resin. Pieces like this where you can really see the dimensions of the piece, or like small mushrooms that are great for embedding into resin. And on this one, the organics are more dimensional and also layered with inside of the resin. To do this technique, what you'll need to have is some silicone gel. It comes in a huge box with instructions. I am showing you what mine looks like because it's fully loaded. I store it in a little Tupperware container, and as you can see, my organics are all inside of here. I have to go through and pull these all out and sort them, but you would have your organics, you would place them inside of like a little hold area. Usually what I'm doing is I have multiple layers inside of my silicone gel, and I'll place my organics down inside of that little hole and then sprinkle the gel over the top of it and just build layer on top of layer as you're seeing here. So these are all organics that over all the different seasons, I'm going through my garden and pulling out whatever looks interesting, and then I'm burying it into this silicone gel, and then I will come back through and sift through and clean up all of my organics and put them in different tubs based off of the different styles of organics that they have. So inside of here, I must admit, this has been in here for a long time, but you can see there's all kinds of different treasure troves of different types of organics with inside of here that I have preserved. Here's another one showing a couple little flowers, and I especially like these little bud-like things here. So this allows you to completely dry the organics and have the three-dimensional look. The silicone gel, you can use it over and over again. On the instructions that you'll get in the box, it says the different times that it takes for the organics to dry, and so you can just go ahead and I just place this under my bedroom dresser, and It's been in there for a couple of seasons, so that's the second way in which you can use organics. The third one is, these are some seed pods. They're so dimensional. I just went ahead, they already were this color, and I just went ahead and put these on my windowsill, and they dry naturally, and I can use these now into resin. One of the things to take into consideration is when you place your organics into resin, as you can see, sometimes they'll start to darken, and it's hard to predict exactly how the resin is going to affect the organics. So another thing you might want to take into consideration is doing some sort of resin spray. And how you would do that is you would place your organics that you just picked, or even ones that you have dried. I place these outside in a small box, shake this up, and then spray both sides thoroughly, and it just gives them an extra coating, and that also helps that the resin doesn't absorb into the organics and discolor them in any way. So one of the reasons why I like to do this is that I have found that it has helped prevent a lot of air bubbles from getting in my resin once I put it on my tag. By fully drenching the piece first, it kind of moves the resin up into all of the little crevices of the organic material and makes it a lot easier for me once I place that on the tag. So those are the three ways that you can use organics and resin. You can use them by pressing them in a book. You can use them and preserve them by using a silicone gel, or you can go ahead and let them dry organically on your windowsill in the sun and with time. And you might be interested in getting some resin spray so that you can spray your organics, and that also prevents them from discoloring when the resin applies.